All right, in 5-7 notes, continuing with solving congruent triangles, guys. So for each of these, the review part is going to be, okay, telling why the triangles are congruent, naming the congruent triangles, and solving for x. And then the new part of this is we're just going to add finding the indicated piece. Okay, so for like in this question, that would be like finding FE. Okay, so here we go. First things first. Here's the first thing that I would do. Okay, I'm going to look at the triangles and say, the way they are right now, are they marked so that they are congruent triangles? Or do I need to add something? Okay, so I look at these triangles. Here's what I notice, that both of them have these same markings, this being an angle, this being a side, and this being an angle. So that is one of our 5 ways that triangles are congruent. So we're going to name these and say that they are congruent by angle, side, angle. Okay, so I'll go over here. I'll name my first triangle alphabetically. So triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Now make sure you map them in the correct order. Notice A has no marking, B has the single mark, C has the circle. So do the same thing for the markings of the angles. So nothing, single mark, circle would be F, D, E. And they are congruent by what we just said in the picture. ASA. Those are all capital letters, angle, side, angle. Now, since that's part of what they're asking us, telling why the triangles are congruent, that's the angle, side, angle, and naming the triangles in the correct order, I'll go ahead and box that. Okay, so expect to be seeing that on quizzes and tests. Next, it asks me to solve for x. Okay, so the ways I'm going to go about that is looking at the information that's given to me here in this line. So notice AB, AC, and FD are all sides of the triangle. Segments or sides, whatever you want to look at, but I'm usually looking at sides or angles. So those are sides of the triangle, okay? And I'm going to go through and basically look at the following guys. So if you just let me go under it to try to explain what I'm doing, I just look at a piece of information and say, well, I know side AB, I'm just putting it under it since those are the first 2 letters, would equal side FD since those are the first 2 letters. If I had AB and FD, I would set them equal to each other. Okay, moving on. If I was given BC, since they're the second and third letter, they would equal side DE, since they're the second and third letter. If I had those 2 pieces of information, I would set them equal to each other. And last but not least, I'll just do it as an arc. If I had A and C, the first and the third letter, I would set it equal to F and E, the first and third letter. If I had AC and FE given to me, those are what I would set equal to one another. Okay, so I start the information, and that's what I'm doing every single time. I start this by kind of going up and just thinking to myself, okay, I have AB. I look down at my statement. AB is supposed to equal the first 2 letters equal FD, the first 2 letters right here. And I notice I found FD. Since I found them, that's what I'm going to set equal to each other. Just tell me what you're doing, so I know what you're doing. So you're telling me AB equals FD. So if I set them equal to each other, x plus 15 equals 3x minus 25. This is me setting up the equation to be able to do the solving for x. I think this time I will subtract x from both sides. So I'll get 2x. Add 25 to both sides to get 40. Divide by 2 and x will be 20. Since that's part of my requirement, I'll go ahead and box that. And then the last thing to do is that new piece of finding the indicated piece. They asked us to find FE. So the easiest thing that will happen is I might be lucky enough for them to, somewhere in this line, just give me FE. And I just pick up the 20 and plug it in. If they don't make it quite that easy, the next thing I look for up there is to say, well, I know that FE, since they are right here, the first and the third letter, I know they're equal to AC, since those are the first and the third letter. And notice, I do have AC up here. Okay, perfect. So then passing along that information, I'm going to say, all right, I know that FE that I'm supposed to find equals AC that was given to us. Okay, so I know that FE will equal 4 times the 20 Okay, because it said 4x plus 3. So 4 times the 20 we just found for x plus 3. Remember, order of operations says to multiply before we add. So 4 times 20 is 80 plus 3 is 83. So there's the missing piece. So side FE is a length of 83. So I will go ahead and box that. Okay. All right, next. Same thing. I'm going to start by looking at my two triangles and using that mapping, because really that mapping this triangle is congruent to this triangle is really the key to success for all of this. Okay, just like it was for similar triangles. So here we go. In the picture, I notice I have a side and an angle and a side labeled. Okay, so an angle between two sides. Yes, SAS is one of my 5 ways for congruency, so that's what I will be putting for my reason. I'll map them in the correct order. So triangle ABC, because it's alphabetical, is congruent to triangle. Now notice where A is. Okay, A is the one with the single mark. Okay, that's easy for you guys to find that that should go with R in the front. Now if I go from A to B across the double mark, then I've got to go from R to T across the double mark, which means by default S is the last angle that I would include there. Get rid of that so we can continue to use it. And we said that they would be congruent by side angle side. Okay, so there's the first part of our information. Next, I notice I'm given all angles. Remember, what I know is that this angle A equals angle R, the middle ones B equals T, the last ones C equals S. Okay, that's what that should mean to you. So guys, ultimately, I just start looking up here. I don't usually circle them for myself, but it's just to try to get you guys to look at the right thing. I just look at, okay, I'm given angle B. Since it's in the middle, it equals angle T, which is in the middle. I happen to have both of those. If I didn't have those, I'd go on and look for something else. Okay? So I'm going to use angle B equals angle T. Always tell me what you're doing so I know where the equation's coming from. Set 4x minus 8 equal to 3x plus 4. Solve for x. So if we subtract 3x from both sides, we'll have x. Add 8 to both sides, we'll have 12. I'll box that since we're supposed to find x. And then lastly, we're supposed to find this extra part. Okay, we're supposed to find angle C. Again, the easiest thing that would happen is they would list maybe angle C up here in the given information. You'd plug in 12 and you would be finished. Okay. The next easiest thing is for you to say, oh, well, looking at this statement, I know that angle C is the last letter, and so it goes with the last letter over here. So if I happen to have S given to me, then I'm also home free. And I do. Okay. Notice we've got angle S here. So I'm going to let you know, if I'm doing the work, what I'm doing. So angle C equals angle S. And angle C would equal what? 5 times x. So 5 times the 12 that we just got for x. That makes angle C equal to 60. And remember, angles are always in degrees. Okay, so angle C equals 60 degrees. Okay, so let's try it again. A little bit different picture. Now we've got triangles that are connected to each other, but we're still doing the same thing. Look at the two triangles and see if they are already marked to be congruent. And here's the thing that I notice. I have a side marked and an angle. Well, that's not enough information. Side and angle does not give me congruency. I need something else. That means you're having to come up with something in the picture. The two most popular things you should be looking for are shared sides and vertical angles, like we keep talking about. Okay, so I hope you are definitely recognizing that these do have vertical angles, which are always equal to each other. So I will mark those two angles. Okay, and now I notice in the picture I have angle, angle, side. Okay, so that's what I will be putting down as my reason for why they are congruent to each other is angle, angle, side. let's map them. The first triangle alphabetically would be triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. Well, if you need help with the mapping, please notice where A is. A is the angle between the side with the single mark and the side that is not marked. Over here, E would be between the side that is not marked and the side with the single mark. So E and A are in the same corresponding place. If I go from A to B across the single mark, then you've got to go from E to D across the single mark. And lastly, land at C. We said they would be congruent by angle, angle, side. So capital AAS. We will box that part. Next, I'm looking at my given information, and I will go ahead and get rid of these so that I'm not messing up the picture again. Okay, my given information, I've got angle A. Angle A is the first letter. It should go with angle E, which is the first letter. I notice I happen to have both of those. So I'm going to say angle A equals angle E, and set the 4x minus 3 equal to the 2x plus 11. If we subtract 2x from both sides, we'll get 2x. Add 3 to both sides, we'll get 14. Divide by 2 and x will be 7. Box that. And then notice the extra thing I'm supposed to find, guys, this time is angle ECD. Hopefully you're agreeing that that is this angle right here. That's angle ECD. I notice up above in my given information, angle ECD is not just sitting there. If it was, it would be easy, right? I would just plug in the x and I would be on my merry way. Okay, but this one looks like it's going to be a little more challenging. My suggestion is that you always just fill in things and put them in the picture, right? So I'm just going to start filling in some things, and keep in mind that I know that the three angles in a triangle add to 180. So I noticed they gave me angle E up above, right? We had the expression for that. So it's 2x plus 11. So 2 times 7 that we got for x plus 11 would give me the angle E equals 14 plus 11. So we're looking at 25 degrees. Go ahead like we've done before and put that in the picture. 25 degrees. All right, and then angle, let's see, in this triangle down here at the bottom, I need angle D. Well, I'm not given D, but I notice D and B are equal to each other because they're both in the middle of our statement. So I could say, well, angle D equals angle B, and therefore angle D is going to be from above, 7x minus 4. So 7 times the 7 for x minus 4 would give me 49 minus 4. All right, it looks like I'm going to get angle D is 45 degrees. Put that in the picture, 45 degrees. Okay. You guys can do a better job than I can with the thick marker to make those look like degrees. Okay, do the best you can. And therefore, angle ECD, right, the only one that's left, guys, would be, maybe I'll do it here, angle ECD then, would equal, since they add up to 180 in that triangle, that lower triangle, 180 minus the 25 for angle E minus the 45 for angle D, and therefore angle ECD would equal 110 degrees. Okay, you can verify that, put it in the picture. We're just saying that angle right there, 110 degrees, because those three now add up to 180. All right, that's what you need. Good luck.